only had one black cat at the time that I bought this. We now have 2 black cats, one of which is named Sekaido, because when I tell you I've had an obsession with this store for a long time, I mean it. Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney, and I am a part-time artist with a full-time job, and this week I am so excited to finally be filming my massive Japan art store haul. There were multiple stores, multiple trips to the same store, but I am so excited because I have not let myself play with any of my new stuff from Japan until I filmed this. So I'm super excited. I've got my coffee. I'm gonna get more caffeinated as we go through this, but there's so much stuff. So I don't know how long this is gonna be. Apologies in advance because we've got 3 different stores and we have art supplies and we have books. So there's like a massive pile on the floor over here. These are 2 bags from Sekaido. Then we had to get a bonus bag. This is a whole other bag of stuff from Sekaido, plus the books, and then 2 other art stores. Well, okay, 1 other art store and then 1 store that had art supplies for a really great price. But we're gonna go in chronological order, the order that I visited the shops, because that makes the most sense, I think. All right. First up, and I'm not even entirely sure that this is the bag from that store because shipping things back from Japan was a whole thing. But the first store we're going to talk about and the first art store that I visited in Japan was Uematsu Art Supply, I think. I will have a link if I can find one to their website. I think that one maybe only had like a Google Maps one thing, but I will link what I can down below. So we stopped in this art store. I kind of like I wasn't planning on going to an art store that day, but we had a little extra time and I found one that was walking distance from where we were. So we popped in and I'm very glad that we did. I could have spent a lot more time there, but I'm gonna get rid of the plastic bag so you don't have to deal with that noise. One of the first things that I picked up was this brush pen. It is just like a little watercolor pen, and I got it in black because I figure I can use it in a lot of different things, not really knowing what it does, but the company that makes it is a Japanese company and it's called Sai, and that's our cat's name, so of course I had to have it. Then I also picked up 2 traditional Japanese style brushes. I think these are traditionally used for, especially this one, for writing out the Japanese characters, but I really loved the look of these brushes and the fact that they do have Japanese on the back. So I'm gonna see what I end up using these for. They may just be souvenirs that kind of hang out on a shelf because they were just so beautiful and like so beautifully made, especially this one. Like you can really see all of the like work that went into it. It's tied there with string, like it's very delicate. So I'm definitely going to read up on it before I use it and see if there is anything that I would use it for in my art practice. But otherwise, it may just be a little souvenir that I keep on my shelf because it reminds me of my trip. Then they also had a lot of paper products in the first floor of the store, and I wanted something that I could either use as a standalone or put in my travel journal for Japan. So these are actually postcard blanks. But I really like the ivory tone of the paper, and you can't really see, but it's got kind of that like raw edge to it. So I thought that was really nice, really high quality paper. So I can do watercolor on this or marker, but I thought it would be a nice little thing to have to both use in my Japan travel notebook and then other things. So I don't have any paper like this, so we're gonna play around with that. Then a couple other things from the first store that I didn't buy, but I'm going to show you anyway. So my sweet friend that we were staying with, who was playing tour guide, who was playing translator, doing everything for us, she's amazing. She somehow in the first store got me 2 little presents. I mean, kind of big presents, like this is really nice. So I don't know how she did it. She did it without me noticing. The store has multiple levels, so I bet she did it when I was upstairs. So she got me a little packet of origami paper, and I am super excited about this. Part of it I probably will make, you know, like a little crane, something simple with, but I'm also going to use it in my Japan trip sketchbook because it's so pretty. I absolutely love it, and it's sakura, it's the cherry blossoms, and we were there while the cherry blossoms were blooming, and I love it. It's so sweet. And then you saw the black watercolor-ish pen that I got. She got me a whole set of them. Like, it's so sweet. So let me hold it right side up. Okay. So she got me an entire set. They are the Sai, which that's the cat's in the window. You can't see it. I'm pointing, but you can't see that there's a cat in a window. Sai is in the window. They're the Sai Japanese traditional colors. I'm gonna call them watercolor brush pens because on the back of this, like, that's very watercolor-ish. Watercolor-esque. So it's a set of 20. It also has a black, so now I have 2 of the blacks, which is awesome. And I'm super excited to play around with these in my sketchbook, but that was so sweet of her. I was so surprised. I'm very excited about this. Okay. Now we're at the really, really big portion. Oh, this is gonna take a while. Okay, so Sekaido. I think that's probably the most well-known Japanese art store. So let me know in the comments if there's, well, okay. So I think it's between Sekaido and Itoya, but let me know in the comments if you've been to either one of those. I didn't actually make it to Itoya. We could have gone and I was too tired, so we didn't go, and I kind of regret that. But let me know in the comments if you've been to any Japanese art stores, if you've been to Japan, or which one that you'd most like to go to. But Sekaido was amazing. I had been looking forward to that for a very long time, and it absolutely like lived up to what I thought it would be. And the first day we were there, because we went twice, the first day they were having a 20% off sale. And I didn't really realize that until I got to the register. And I was like, I should have bought more things. Because y'all, if you're in the US, you kind of know what paint prices are. I wish I could find the receipt. Maybe it'll pop out of the bag when I'm going through it. But for the Holbein watercolors, they are the 5 milliliter ones. But I paid like 100 yen, so like $1 for watercolor tubes, which is outrageous in the US. I was absolutely thrilled. So I've kind of separated Sekaido into 3 categories. We have paints, which we'll go into in just a second. Then I have everything else that isn't paints or books. And then I have books, which I will have to grab off the shelf over there in a minute. So we're gonna go with paints, all the other things that aren't paints and also aren't books, and then books. Then we'll go to the last little tiny, not an art store, but had art supplies place that we went to. Okay? All right, let's get into Sekaido. We'll start out with the easy, big purchases that I did. So I don't own any Turner gouache, and they had this set of the Turner Design gouache 12 color set, and it seemed like a really good idea. I think this was around 3,400 yen, so close to 20 bucks, which, I mean, let's open this. You can see that I like have not opened any of these. Almost. I could get up and get a pair of scissors, but that would make too much sense. I'm so excited. I'm really interested to compare these to the Winsor Newton gouache that I do have, and that's kind of what I did when I was shopping for paint, was I tried to buy from brands that I don't have. I mostly have Winsor Newton. So I'm excited to do some comparisons. I really want to compare like a cobalt blue to a cobalt blue from the other brands. So we'll see how I did on purchasing things. I kind of like got a little bit overwhelmed in Sekaido and just like grabbed random things. So I'm interested to see like the consistency, the opacity, and just how they work when I use them. But these are 25 milliliter tubes, and I'm pretty sure I paid around $20, maybe $25 for this set, which is insane compared to US prices. It was outrageously cheap. So that was exciting. Then I got a set of 5 Holbein acrylic wash paint tubes. So what are these? They're 20 milliliter. So it's just basically the primaries and then a black and a white. So I don't have any acrylic wash. Well, unless you count the, what's that little green paint set that everyone has off of Amazon? Hemi gouache. Is that acrylic wash or is it gouache? I think it's just gouache and not acrylic wash. I'm really not sure. But if that's not acrylic wash, I don't have any acrylic wash. So this will be our first attempt at that. And I'm also interested to see how these colors compare to the ones that I have. So don't have any Holbein products really, I don't think. So this will be my first foray into that. Okay, my coffee is getting cold, so after paints, we're gonna take a break for a minute. But this is the rest of the paint that I got. There's a lot of paint in here. Since we're on the topic of gouache, I'm gonna try to pull out all the other gouache paints that I got. So these are also Holbein. I just wanted a couple like neon pretty colors. So I grabbed these 3 and I don't know, I'm just gonna play around with them. They looked fun. I don't really have anything like this in my collection, and hey, it kind of matches my nails. That's fun. But they're kind of like neon colors, so I wanted to get things that I didn't have and also brands that I didn't have. So I'm excited to play around with those and the other tubes that I got. All right, everything else is watercolor. So we're gonna switch over to watercolor. So one interesting thing that I did not know about Japanese stores, some of them, like the caveat on that, some stores, when there are multiple levels like that, it's all the same store, they like for you to check out on that floor. So they have different colored baskets for different floors. Like one day when we went, they were fine with you going to multiple floors and checking out all on the first floor. But the second day that we went, they're like, no, you have to go back down to that other floor. Part of it was because I was mostly buying paint, and what they apparently like to do for you, it's very nice, is to box up all the paint in the boxes that like they shipped into the store. So this is a Holbein box, but it's whatever I grabbed, which was Daniel Smith, I think. So they rebox the paints that you buy so that you don't lose them in your bag. So that was kind of nice. So if you happen to be going to Sekaido, try to check out on the floor that has the stuff that you're buying, and then go to the next floor and then shop that floor and then check out. So meh, it works. So yeah, that was a different experience, but I kind of liked it. I especially like having these nice little boxes, because if I'm traveling again, I can put my paints in these and keep them a little more organized, because I do have a couple tubes that have leaked on me in the past. So this is actually kind of handy, and I'm gonna hold on to at least like one box in each size probably. All right, let's look at all of the paint that I got. All right, so for the watercolors, I have 3 different brands that I picked up, all of which are new to me. Typically, I have Winsor Newton, and that's mainly what I've used. So I tried to grab primary colors in each brand so I could do a little bit of a comparison. All right, for Daniel Smith, I got the Hansa Yellow Light. I got a quinoxidone coral because like the tube looked more like a primary red. So I don't know. I was grabbing things and a little bit overwhelmed. And then I got a French ultramarine. So we will swatch those at a later time because this video is going to be super long, but I'm interested to play around with these. Then I also got a Payne's Gray and then Moonglow. This is kind of an iridescent watercolor. I don't have any iridescents or like pearlescent ones, so I really liked, they had like, you know, the little like swatch cards. I liked how it looked on the card, so we'll see what that looks like. Then I also got these 3, which are pearlescents. So there's a duochrome. Oh, we're not in focus. Hello, there we go. All right, so I got these 3, which are also pearlescent or iridescent. So this is a duochrome green pearl. I got a iridescent violet raspberry, so kind of like a purpley red, and then a duochrome adobe, which is kind of like a rose gold almost. So those will be fun. They only had these in the larger tubes, so the 15 milliliter. So I have a lot of them, and I'll see what I end up doing with them, but they were at such a good price, I could not walk away from them, especially because it's not something I have in my collection. All right, then I also grabbed 3 tubes of the Schminky watercolors. I think these might have been more pricey than Daniel Smith or Holbein. We'll see if I can find my receipt. But I don't have any of the Schminky colors. I don't think our local store carries this brand either. So I grabbed 3 colors in this brand. I want to say that's Phthalo Blue. Phthalo Sapphire Blue, I think is what we're getting out of that label. Then I got Scarlet Red and Chromium Yellow Hue Lemon. So lemonish yellow, scarlet-ish, and Phthalo Blue. So I'm excited to compare these to both the Daniel Smith, the Winsor Newton that I already have, and the massive amount of Holbein watercolors that I got. All right, like I said, Holbein was on sale. These tubes were roughly $1 each, so I grabbed everything. So I think I got roughly 3 blues, 3 reds, and 3 yellows, and then some convenience colors. So for the blues, I got a marine blue, I got a cobalt blue, and I grabbed 2 cobalt blues. Oh well, you know what? We're gonna use them anyway. So we've got those for the blues. Then for the reds, I got a rose madder, cadmium red deep, and a vermilion. Then technically this one says that it's, oh, well, are we gonna focus? No, okay. Technically this one says that it's light red, but that looks brownish to me. So this also says burnt rouge. So to me that's a little more like burnt umber brownish. We'll see what it actually looks like when it's out of the tube. All right, then for yellows in the Holbein, I got a permanent yellow deep. I got permanent lemon yellow and a cadmium lemon yellow. So I'm excited to play around with all those primaries. Then for the other convenience colors, I grabbed this lilac. I do not have anything like this in watercolor, and I'm super excited to use this, especially now that it's spring. And I also got an opera rose or opera quinoxidine opera. A nice pink that I can use for a lot of things. Then I got a shadow green. This is a really, really dark looking green, and that'll be fun for plein air this spring, summer, once the weather gets a little bit warmer, because yeah, there's currently snow outside the window. Then I also picked up a sap green. I don't think I actually have a sap green in my Winsor & Newton, so that's a nice addition. And I also got this yellow ochre, maybe if we want to focus. There we go. I also grabbed a yellow ochre because that's also good for plein air and landscapes. All right, we are back. We've had a coffee break, and we're getting into the things that aren't books or paint part of the Sekaido haul. So I am developing an unhealthy obsession with fountain pens. So I picked up a Pilot Kakuno, I think is how you pronounce that. I don't know a single thing about this pen, but I liked that it was pink, and we're gonna test it out and play with it at some point. So grabbed a fountain pen. Then I could not remember if I had any of these Caran d'Ache non-photo sketching pencils, and I don't think I do now that I'm home. So I grabbed a pack of these, and I am excited to toss these into my bag next time that I go out. I'm getting a little tired of like sketching in just regular gray graphite. I like how it looks to have a color of pencil underneath, especially if you just do ink straight over it. I just like that look a little bit better. So I'm excited to use these, and I like that they have an eraser rather than just using like colored pencils that don't erase. All right, I just severely upset the cat because I turned his automatic toy off. Sorry about that. I'm literally pulling things out of this bag at random, so I don't know what's gonna come out next. But I got these cute little cat stickers for no other reason other than they are cute cat stickers, and I'll probably use them in my bullet journal. And there's a cat that's getting ready to push some of the paint off the table. Could you not do that? Okay, crisis averted. What is this? This is just a little Sakura postcard with cats on it that I was gonna frame and hang on my wall because it was cute. So, bought that. Then this is a Pentel pencil It's a 0.2 pencil lead, and the cat's gonna play with the toy and make noise. So sorry about that. But I don't think I have any 0.2 pencils, and I say that and I'm probably gonna be super wrong, and that's probably all I have. But I grabbed one at random. Could always use another mechanical pencil, and I like the Pentel pencils. Then this is another really teeny tiny Japanese brush. There we go. Maybe focusing, you can barely see, but I'm hoping it'll be good for detail work. I'm interested to play around with these brushes and see what they're like. I also picked up this water brush. The size on it is mini. It kind of looks like the small that I have, but I could always use more water brushes. The one I have is kind of getting stained, and it's not really like releasing water like it used to. It seems like it's kind of like, I don't know, stopped up or something. So another one of these is always handy, and I don't think I have any by this brand. So again, I'm telling you, like, random stuff in this bag. So these are little Post-it notes that are speech bubbles. And I really like how people, when they, in their sketchbooks, this is a hard sentence apparently. I don't know why I can't explain myself today. But if you've watched YouTube videos of sketchbook flip throughs, sometimes people will be working on something in their sketchbook, not like how it turns out the first time, put a Post-it note over it, then draw over the Post-it note. And I really like how it like adds that contrasting color and just looks fun. And I thought these would be fun to add into a sketchbook. So I picked them up because they were probably cheap. They were 396 yen. So like less than $2-ish, $2-ish. Then I grabbed this tiny little stencil, which is gonna be super handy, both for sketchbook things and also my bullet journal. Like, that's such a great size, and circles are so freaking hard to draw. So I've never seen a stencil like in a US art store like this that's this small and like handy. I'm just super excited about it. Like, it has everything you could possibly want in a little, especially if you're doing a bullet journal, and a bullet journal stencil. So I'm very excited about this. All right, this was another one of those, I don't know that I actually need it, but I've never seen it, so let's buy it purchases. So it's a little clip. Yeah, you can kind of see, like, it's like a little like page clip, but then it has like little mini tabs on it. So I thought that would be super fun for like tabbing a book or something. And also I've never seen like little tiny tabs that small. And it was also only like $2 or $3. So why not? It's cute. I'll use it for something. And happy birthday to me. Right? Like, y'all, this was the make myself happy, treat yourself trip. And I have zero regrets, especially when I actually looked at the receipts and came back and like looked at US prices for everything I bought, including like clothes, which I'm not gonna like do a haul or anything on, but I found a couple of Japanese brands that I really, really love. And like, for example, the sweatshirt I don't know how much this one was. I bought a fancy-ish sweatshirt. It was $80 in the store, US, you know, whatever it was in yen, I converted it. It was about $80 US. When I looked at it on their website, in US dollars, it was $149. Like, same thing for like the Holbein watercolors. You cannot find those for $1 in the US. They were $1 in Japan. So zero regrets on anything that I bought. Tangent, sorry. Then I bought this little that's the barcode. There we go. Then I bought this little tiny eraser. And it's got all of these little points so you can use it to do like fine detail erasing. And also is just super cute. I don't know how well it's gonna erase, but I hadn't seen an eraser like this and it was cute, so we got it. Then I had really been looking, I don't know if it's gonna focus on this, maybe, kind of. I had really been looking for a ruler like this that was this size. I have a couple square rulers from my dad, but they're big. Their spouse is home. We'll pause. I got this little tiny square ruler because all the other ones that I have are, they're actually my dad's from kind of construction, so they're bigger. I have one that's like a decent size, but this is perfect for my sketchbooks, for smaller watercolor blocks. I have not seen one this size in any store that I've looked at in the US, so super excited about this find. Then another little pack of the Post-it notes with the little like speech bubbles to play around with, use in my sketchbook, what have you. Then I got a little roll of washi tape that has little tiny black cats on the side. So it matches my cats, which I only had one black cat at the time that I bought this. We now have two black cats, one of which is named Sekaido, because when I tell you I've had an obsession with this store for a long time, I mean it. So, tangent there, but oh, the cute little black cat washi tape. I'm excited. And then I grabbed a sketchbook because why not? It was less than $10 and it's one of the Talon's art creation sketchbooks, and I've never used a Talon's one before, and this had the white paper, which I think this is new. There's a cat playing with a cat toy in the floor. Sorry about that. But I think the white paper is a newer style because typically their paper has been ivory. But I'm super excited to try this out after I finish the current sketchbook that I'm in. So very, very happy about this. All right, we're on to the bookish portion of this video. Books. Yeah, we did a little bit of damage. Y'all, I knew that art books from Japan was a thing that I wanted to get. Like after watching several other creators' supply hauls from art stores in Japan, specifically Sekaido. Sekaido is known to have a massive book section and it did not disappoint. So I knew that I was going to be bringing a lot of books back. And I did a good job. Again, I was floored at the prices. So all but like 2 of those books I was just holding up came from Sekaido. And in that trip to Sekaido, even with buying gifts for friends at Sekaido, I spent less than $300, okay? The prices were insane. They were having a 20% off sale, so I happened to just like go on the right day as well. But I got really lucky with that, but still like 0 regrets. I shipped these back in my suitcase. There's a chance that I mailed dirty clothes back to the US so that I could carry the books in my carry-on suitcase and not lose them or risk them being damaged in the mail. That might have happened, but let's look at the art books. All right, the first 2 are not from Sekaido. The first one, The Holy Grail, The Art of Totoro. So yeah, I'm just obsessed, absolutely obsessed. I'd seen a couple other people feature this in YouTube videos and I am just so, look at it. I just love Studio Ghibli's art so much. I'm excited to flip through this, use it as inspiration, use it as a reference. I am not at the level that I can create scenes like in Studio Ghibli movies, but I'm gonna try. And this is just such a beautiful book and I'm so excited about this one. But I picked this one up at the Studio Ghibli store. So very happy about this. This one's not from Sekaido, but I'm not sure if they have it there or not. I did not look for it because this was one of the first days that we were there and I grabbed this. Then, not technically an art book, but I'm gonna use it as a reference. So I think it was Saturday we went to a farmer's market and then I happened to find a bookstore near the farmer's market. So I had to go to the bookstore and obviously I don't speak or read a lot of Japanese. I know the tourist phrases that you need to know. And I do want to learn more Japanese, but point being, buying an actual book in Japanese is not that useful right now. But a magazine with cat pictures and interior design photos, like that's a good reference. Like these photos are gorgeous. Like those are really nice photos. So learning how to draw cats is something I've been working on. Something we struggle with. We are a perspective and architecture focused artist at this point, but I love cats. I want to get better at drawing cats as well as people faces. If you've been around here, you know I've been working on that. And this is just, look at it. This is such a good reference. Like those are gorgeous photos. Look at the little cat. So yeah, I'm super excited about this. There is also, I think there's cartoons in here too. Yeah, look at the little cartoon cats. Look at them. So, not an art book technically, but one of the best cat reference books I've ever seen. All right, then this stack, these 7 books are from Sekaido. And I looked at the receipt just now, and I also looked at a couple of my reference books that I have and US reference books are usually between $10 and $20. None of these were $20. All of them were pretty much under $15. So again, I'm just floored by the prices in Japan and how cheap I got everything, and I'm just very excited about it. So let's get into the last of the books. The first book from Sekaido, really in no particular order because this is just the order that they're in my lap. So I grabbed this. It is Polaris. It's the art of Miyoko. I apologize. I'm not familiar with this artist, but this is cute. So I, again, know nothing about this artist. I was just flipping through the books, and yes to all of this. This is adorable. Look at that. Look at that. So one of the things that I do want to do this year is work on learning Procreate and simple little things like, look at these popsicles. I could do something similar-ish, but just for inspiration, and oh, the colors, the color schemes in this book. So I'm gonna have to look this artist up because I'm obsessed. I absolutely love this. It's not really my style, but for inspiration and just like trying something new, absolutely love. Absolutely. Fantastic. Another book I grabbed was this one. It is Gesture Drawing, the Ultimate Guide for Beginners. And it has such cute little references. You do not need to be able to read the instructions or read Japanese in order to understand what they're trying to show you in this book. So there are a lot of really good references and poses and positions and things that will just be super helpful because learning to draw people is a thing I'm trying to do this year. So very happy about this find. As anyone who has ever attempted to draw people knows, hands are one of the hardest things. So I had seen this in somebody else's Sekaido haul that they had found this hand drawing reference book. That's phenomenal. I love this. So I searched the entire book section for this and finally found it. I am super happy about this because I struggle with hands and human forms as well as cat forms and really anything that's not a building. So this is going to be a handy reference. I'm probably not going to tackle this for a while because we're going to do faces first and then we'll work on the rest of things. But very happy that I found this. Then all the other books I bought were architecture based. So this is the Perspective Workbook. Again, don't read Japanese, but just the references, the pictures in this thing, the art styles, it has a variety. I just, I love it. It would be handy to read the instructions, and I mean, I can throw it through Google Translate, but very, very, very happy about this workbook, and I'm going to get a lot of use out of this, I'm sure. Then I picked up this one, which I cannot tell you the name of, but I feel like it's all by the same artist, just based on flipping through it. It's graphite drawings and different buildings and streetscapes and just stunningly beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I am obsessed. I would love to be able to have the patience to do the level of detail that this artist has done in their work. Like, it's just incredible. I am obsessed with this, and I'm gonna need to throw this through Google Translate to see if I can find this artist online so I can follow them because absolutely gorgeous. Then, oh look, it's another perspective book. This is The Beginner's Guide to Perspective and Space Drawing, and it is beginner-ish. It is at a little bit of a lower level than I really need, but it still has so many good reference photos and tips that I can figure out without having to necessarily read the text that it's worth picking up. I really just, for the references, like look at that. And that drawing vehicles is not a thing I'm really that good at. And then it also gets into interior scenes, which is something that I do find a little more challenging. So I am excited to use this as well. And then I grabbed this. It is I want to say it's a background catalog book. They had a whole set of different ones of these, and it's really just like street scenes from, to me it looks like throughout Japan. Like there's Shinjuku Station, and then I'm pretty sure there's other images from like Osaka and Kyoto and places that I didn't visit. So I just thought it was a really nice souvenir to have from my trip. I'll probably use some of it in my sketchbook from the trip, but really nice photo references, and I'm excited to just flip through it and have it for some nice memories from Japan. All right, that's it for the book portion. Let's get into the one other store that wasn't an art store but had art supplies part. Then the final, not art store but art supply portion of this video is Don Quijote. So if you've watched any Japanese vlogs, that's one of the like big stores that everybody goes to. It's kind of like Daiso. It's a lot of stuff, like an overwhelming amount of stuff. If I have any footage from the store, I'll pop it in here. But we went to it on the way to the airport on like the last day we were there, so I could only grab what would fit into my carry-on bags. And they have just like everything that you could possibly imagine. I think the one we went to was like 2 or 3 floors, but they had a small art section, and I definitely had to pick up a couple things because the prices were insanely cheap. So I grabbed a pack of these. You know, I always thought these were called midliners, but it's mild liner. Did we know that? I did not know that. I've also not owned these before, so I guess I didn't pay that much attention. But at any rate, I got a pack of the Zebra mild liners. Really thought it was midliner. Is anyone else like thought it was midliner this whole time? But that says mild. It says mild liner. Huh. At any rate, excited to play around with these. Got some fun spring colors. Don't know at all what I'll do with them, but I didn't have any, so I got some because they were very, very cheap. I do not remember how much they were, but I know they were way cheaper than I've ever seen them in the US. Then I grabbed this little like carrying case. I can always use another pen case or something like this, and this is like the perfect size for some art supplies, and I also liked that it was clear, and it was like $2, so I grabbed this. And then the piece de resistance, the main attraction at Don Quijote. Look at all the Poscas! I regret not buying more. Y'all. Okay, go on a US art website like Jerry's or Dick Lick. Look and see how much single Poscas are. Like, even this small one. Yeah, they're like $4 each. This largest one, I paid $1.97 for. $1.97. These were like $1.60. I'm sorry. So yeah, I bought a lot of Poscas, and honestly, I think I own one. I think I might have one Posca that I got at a giveaway, but very excited because I am like a little obsessed with a couple of people on Instagram and YouTube that do a lot of mixed media in their sketchbook, and they're often layering Poscas over top of their Neocolors, Caran d'Ache, their watercolors, Tombow markers, what have you. So I'm excited to play around with these, and like, you can't beat that price. You cannot beat the price. Look, excited. I am so excited about this. So Don Quijote, not an art store, but if you're ever in Japan, I would definitely check out their, like, it was kind of like the stationery school supply section. I will pop in a picture of, so you can see the prices. It's like 298 yen if you do the conversion. I did it just now. It's like $1.97 even for the largest one. Look at this, $1.97. You cannot find this for that price in the US. So very, very happy about that. Really tempted to tell my friend that still lives in Japan to like go back to the store and buy me more things. Oh my gosh. So, all right, very excited about this. And yeah, half the reason I bought this was because they fit the Posca markers. All right, so that's it for my incredibly massive Japanese art store haul. Again, I'm not trying to like show off or make anybody feel bad. The only reason that I bought this much stuff was it was my birthday trip. I planned for this. I knew that for the shopping I was going to do in Japan, the majority of it was going to be art supplies. And it was absolutely worth it considering how much I saved compared to US prices. Yeah, if you factor in the plane ticket and everything, but like this was also my spouse and I wedding anniversary trip. So no, I realized not everybody can do this. This is something I was very privileged to be able to do, but I am just so thrilled with everything I got. I didn't even know how cheap it was going to be when I planned for all of this, so it exceeded my expectations. I am super thrilled. I can't wait to start using all of the things, which I'm probably gonna go do like today right after lunch. And my art books are some of my prized possessions now. I'm just beyond happy. I really am just so lucky that this is what I got to do for my birthday this year. If you are going to Japan, or if you've been to Japan and been to any art stores, let me know what your favorite art store is down below. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. But I hope you're having a great week wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Hi, hello, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney, and I'm a part-time artist with a full-time job, and I never know how to finish that sentence. We're gonna struggle now. Everything else is watercolor, so we're gonna switch over to then I got Scarlet Red and Chrome, oh Lord. All right, so our first one, let me just make sure that the sound is actually sound recording. If it's not, I'll be upset. Okay. Zebra mild. I've also never owned them before, so I guess